Crack open a cold brew.
Cracking up a few tinnies with the boys.
With my boys.
Well, we'd just like to clarify that we do have a stranger with us for all of our thousands and thousands of fans around the world and ghosts. This is my brother, Dr. Extraordinaire Colum O'Reilly, and that's a medical doctor, not like a doctor of like Chinese pottery or something like that.
Yeah, an actual real doctor. Like,
He says that.
Like a
He
dentist
says
or
real.
something, you know.
Oh.
One that works in a hospital.
So we thought it might be good to get an actual doctor in here and then ask him no questions that relate to medicine whatsoever.
Yeah,
that's pretty much the idea, isn't it?
Yeah.
That we just waste this opportunity to have a doctor here. In fact, we were actually just going to ask him what various problems on our bodies are, and we're going to do it on video. I think that
these lads in here are in a wreck. Like, it's disaster.
My groin is just
yeah.
deep in.
Voidus asked me about his funny leg one more time. Like, that's it.
The third leg.
My funny third leg. Yeah.
Down in your nitro cave, man.
The last time we're starting talking about kids and training, and all that old school bullshit, about. I mean, we still believe it's bullshit.
Yeah.
Maybe you'll correct us, saying like it's if you start early training, weight training, you're gonna stop your growth, the height.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's like one of these common things that a lot of people are worried about, especially parents. Parents, the minute they hear about people lifting weights, but it's myths. Like there's no proven data out there that would say that yes, if you're training, from a younger age, it's actually quite the opposite.
Yeah.
So they're saying really, if you start training from the ages of 8, 9, 10, you're building yourself up to when you sort of jump in your hormones when you become a teenager to when you're around 16, 17. You actually will be able to do a lot more at that point. Yeah. But it's about proper supervised training.
100%.
I mean, we're not talking about a kid coming in throwing 200 kilos on a squat rack and go, here, squat that, and break your back. It's about proper, form. People like everyone here who, you actually come in and you can show people what to do, make sure that they're doing it properly, that they're not, overdoing, all the training that they should be doing so that they can progress properly.
Because I think stuff is changing. Because I remember, like, when I was like 16 or whatever, first time up in Total Fitness, like, you weren't allowed near any heavyweights over 18.
Yeah.
It was
even West Point, it was like, what age are you?
They used to have big signs up and everything.
They
used to have signs up that if you're under the age of 16, go away.
There was a sign on the fucking to go where all machines, where all the weights were. It was actually signs saying
over
like
18s.
Yeah. So over 18s, yeah. And all they were allowed to do is only like cardio stuff. Or there was this, like
there was a couple of machines.
Yeah,
there was a circuit. There was a circuit.
Oh, that little thing upstairs, wasn't it?
Yeah. Fucking
minute and a half.
Hydraulic stuff was on, like, attached like these fucking things. It's like zero resistance. They're just like, just going through the motions there.
Even when I started in school, and like now I didn't really go to a rugby school, but it was a school that played rugby. Yeah. And when you were in first and second year, you weren't allowed into the weights part of the gym. You're only allowed in at the rowing machines and all that kind of stuff. You weren't allowed to go near any of the rest of the stuff. But like, which has totally changed now. Yeah, but even now, like the 13-year-olds will go in and be abusing the gym.
Think this, like, like when here weights were like strength and conditioning training was brought to rugby. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I actually ended up in the course, but if you were doing very forced course, they did. And that was like in probably 2006 or 5, the first time.
Yeah.
And they brought, there was like the good guys they brought in, like that. It was when Wells team won Grand Slam. So these guys who done that, they were next year doing the course.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
The funny bit was, they said they had some Russian dude on the payroll translate fucking Russian books from, seriously, all
the old Olympic teams.
Yeah, biomechanics, and
Valerian
stuff like that, a lot of stuff like about training that he was like Federation of Rugby Federation of Wales as that guy on the payroll constantly doing that. And specifically fucking making all the stuff for them.
I'm sure then that they constantly go to Poland for the cryotherapy and all that kind of stuff. But that's the one thing that I don't get. And again, it's this kind of urban myth, and it's a bit of a witch hunt in so much for kids, like training. The benefits that you get as an adult when you activate your muscles, like, I mean, the fact that it like reduces risk of stroke, heart attack, get bone density increases, it makes you use your nutrients, and you're kind of thinking, this is a lot of
cardiovascular support.
Yeah, like, exactly.
Really goes
Why?
on, you know, and people aren't doing enough of it.
And kids, like, so it's like, no, they can't do. No, if a kid does it, it's the opposite.
Yeah, I think the one worry that they usually have is a kid mentally prepared to start training, because again, they have to, like, before a kid can start, they have to be able to listen to what you want them to do, to actually take instruction and to take that in, because that is then the danger, because you do have kids who will come in and they'll say, well, I can do 10 times more than what this person is telling me to do, and they injure themselves. I mean, but when you look at things like injuries, you're not really stunting growth when you're talking about you know, strength and conditioning training. Most of the injuries you'll see kids have, well, I've dropped weight in my foot, I've broken a bone in my hand, I've you know, injuries while they're doing sport. But if you look at what kids are doing every single day, running, jumping, you know, throwing themselves around the place, the amount of force that actually has to put on the body itself is way more than what you'll actually be doing even in the gym. So you build that up, and I suppose it also benefits as regards, it gives them a structured plan that they be able to follow. You know, these are the things that will actually help as they become a teenager, you know, get you more organized and that type of thing. And then you build up on the experience that you'll have as well. So yeah, I mean, for me, I think it's beneficial to start younger, with a well-structured program, and to actually have people who know what they're doing then to be able to help you with that, you know. As long as they just don't take it out of bounds from that, then there's no reason for somebody to do that. And again, it is just a myth, you know. There's no, I couldn't quote you any data that it'd say otherwise, you know.
It is opposite, I think. Like, you know, I'm pretty sure, like, I can't remember his name, like, he tagged me in one research which actually showed, like, it's opposite, like, you know, the kids who like not training and those who train actually the support the growth. So it was opposite, not, you know.
I mean, there's a lot of like, there's so many American, like, you know, universities and colleges that have done so many studies on the exact same thing, which will tell you that it's absolutely the opposite. And a lot of sports medicine facilities do the same kind of thing. You know, I mean, if you read their papers, they're completely going in the opposite direction. That yes, actually training from a younger age will help you later on. You know,
let's say knowing this, would you think like it's let's say, you know, like loads of places here doing like personal trainer course or gym instructor course. Why they not even trying to look a bit outside the box? Like, they're just repeating the same bullshit, you know. Let's say, like, even like when they giving let's say exercises what to do, they most of the times they're avoiding deadlifts. It's bad for spine, all this bullshit, and all the same, like squats. If you go deep squats, you fuck up your knees, like fuck all that crap, you know. But
well, I mean, you can injure yourself doing any type of movement, but I mean, these are compound movements that are very good for you. I mean, you know, if you look at what do Olympic lifters do, what do all these types of things, like these are the basic lifts that you have. So yeah, I mean, people I think avoid them because they're afraid that someone will get hurt doing them, because you can do them very wrong and something can go wrong very easily. But it's about doing it properly how it should be.
It's probably because you can lift more weight doing a compound movement. You can lift heavy. Like, you're not going to curl.
You know,
so like,
you're not going to
curl.
tear the arm off you, you know, that kind of way.
Yeah, absolutely. But I mean, you know, doing even a curl, you can get a bicep tear, or you could do, you know, you can do something else. But you know, it's
hemorrhoid.
It's the same, hemorrhoid as well. But yeah, I mean, they're the movements that people don't like, simply because, you know, so much can go wrong with them. Once you tell somebody to go in the corner, well, yeah, you can go and do your own push-up, or you can do whatever, your own body weight type thing. But the minute they see somebody walking with a bar and they're a bit shaky and they're not very sure of themselves, they get worried, because then the other side of it is if they've got personal trainers and these type of stuff, and something happens to them, then that's also, you know, there is a fault there going to go on with the trainer then.
Of course, You shouldn't
that's also the worry that they have.
You shouldn't push too far if you don't know what you're doing. Like, you know, if you don't have cop on at all. Let's say, like for me, like, let's say coming to those courses, these guys coming out like for whatever few weeks of courses, and they start training like they never properly train themselves. It has zero understanding where is the limit.
Like, the thing is, I have a lot of respect for people who will go and do a course that they might not know anything, but will then try and apply it to themselves. You know, you have the perfect subject, you have your own body. Use it, as in, let's try these things out, and then go, that actually really worked for me. I feel confident I know that. You see, it's a lot easier for someone to go up to the top of a slope with their skis and go, fuck that, no, that's way too dangerous for me to do that because I'm only new, than to walk into here. You know, it's not a slope in front of them, you know, so they can kind of go, yeah, I can do this, you know, and that can be carried off, you know, and they don't think, learn.
But even like simple thing, let's say, if you doing your personal training course, which you leads to like you're gonna do, that's your kind of part of business, so your body is your business card.
Yeah, totally, yeah.
And what the fuck is going on?
Yeah,
I mean,
I suppose it depends who it is. There's so many of them that
no, but
so many people. Yeah, there's so many people. Like you said, you have to apply it to yourself. There's so many people though who are, you know, really are becoming experts in their field in that way. But again, it's they're taking what they've learned and then they're expanding on it. So they're going, well, this is what I did, but I've tweaked it that little bit better, and now this is what I think works better for us or for me, or. And,
it's the whole thing of constantly trying to learn. You know, that you never stop learning. To go, oh Jesus, yeah, every day you want to go, oh, I found this out, I found this out. Instead of going, well, I got my course, and now I come into the gym, and I tell Gladys over there to, you know, get up off the bench, sit down again, up you get. Do you want a hand? Yeah, there you go. Okay, that'll be 50 quid. You know, that kind of way.
Yeah, there has to be a lot of enthusiasm. You have to like what you want to do and really help people with it. Like, you know.
Do you know what? I think it would be better, and I think there'd still be the same amount of people going to do it, is if there was a lot more regulation put in place.
100%.
And they, you know, a proper course, you know, full level 8, 4-year degree that someone has to go and study to be an exercise management, you know, sports management, strength and conditioning, all of these things, all in one.
Yeah, but that's,
you know, and I think they'd feel better as well. They wouldn't, instead of going, I kind of done a couple of weeks, and you know, there's a few people I know who've done that, and they've kind of come out the other end and go, why did I fucking bother?
Yeah, but that's the other thing. Let's say, like, I think it's very trendy shit now. Yeah, to do,
it is.
Like,
Yeah,
you have
it's trendy.
You do the course like that, and you have and this and that. Like I had like one dude was asking me before. Actually, not one. Like I was a couple, but both decided not to do because I just made simple questions. So okay, so actually talked to you yesterday about the same thing. So like, okay, you want to do courses? Just like, no, fuck it. You know, you have now. You got the diploma. Yeah, paper there. What's next? So what you do next? Like, you know, what's the next step? Has no clue yet. And then I said like, okay, so you know, you're gonna do something there, but whatever. You want your own stuff, you know, own place. You have enough money? No. Okay, so all you can do, go work for somebody or you work outside, yeah, you know, because you live above the brain, whatever fuck you do there. Okay, so
on the train tracks.
On the same time, when you've got your diploma, another 100 got on it also.
Yeah, totally.
So tell me now why anybody gonna pick you over 99 other ones?
Yeah.
What you give different than them?
Yeah.
What is better? So like the way appearance goes, you didn't train yet.
Yeah.
Oh no, I'm training. No. The way I'm looking there, you didn't train yet.
Yeah.
You cannot, like, you know, if it's you have like triple chin there on you, how the fuck you gonna talk about?
Not even a double chin.
No, you know what I mean.
Triple chin.
So, and you know, when you peel like this, I made 3 questions.
Yeah.
3 next kind of steps there, and he had no plan. So I said, like, dude, instead of throwing like a few grand away, think about this. Do you really want, and why you want to do that? For me, it's always first question. Why? What's that? Like, you know, if you want to learn how to do stuff, fuck that course. Like, I'm over here trained.
It's about learning it's about learning about people as well, though. You know, because like you said, you know, if you're going to someone, you need to do this to be better, to you know, to make sure you're working it better. But you're actually 120 kilo fat man sitting on a couch all day. Yeah. But you've just done this thing, and this is what you want to do. Then of course, then somebody's going to look at you like it's crazy. I mean, it's the same thing when I'm at work, say. I mean, if somebody comes in and I'm telling them, stop smoking, stop drinking, you're going to need to lose some weight. And if I'm sitting there with a bottle of Heineken, a cigarette hanging out my mouth, and a beer belly, they're going to look at me going, well, you don't even practice your you don't even practice your own thing, so why should I...
Glass on.
Why should I... Yesterday? That was outside. That was literally outside before I came in, you know. But that's it. Like, I mean, you know, people aren't going to listen to you either. You can't, you know, you have to put forward whatever you're going to do, because like they're looking at you for first. Like, your appearance, what you're...
Take me, for instance, like, teaching piano. I'm like... See these guns? I got these playing Beethoven, bitch.
That's literally how he starts every piano session. Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
And I teach, mostly teach kids. I'll clarify, that does not happen, okay?
I don't know what the screams are, but I don't
when they get a note wrong, that's it. You know,
it's all
like,
about the breath.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's no, but I think so. Going back to the whole thing about kids, I mean, the other side of it is as well.
All right.
Kids in training. Kids in training. We're going to clarify this. Kids in training, strength and conditioning of kids. Like I definitely think it. You know, we should be actually promoting it more so, because again, you know, running, or you know, it's not the only sports that you know, it's not just running or swimming. It's, you know, there's so many other sports out there that you use all these things for. And when you compare somebody of the same age, say who's 12, 13, who has been doing this for 3 or 4 years, and somebody who hasn't, there's a huge difference in between those two people. You know? 100%. So I mean, I think it's important, and also for later on, because what I'm seeing now is you're getting people who are teenagers, who are, unfortunately, when people grow up and they're not liking what they're doing, or that, you know, they find that people are completely surpassing them now, they kind of get lazy and they don't want to do it anymore. And then it kind of travels on into becoming an adult, and then I'm seeing them come in, and there is an obesity crisis kind of going on here that, you know, again, you see it kind of, they talk about America and they talk about other places, but it all leads into that. So if you start this at a younger age and then continue it on, you're more likely to enjoy it and continue it on, rather than when you start when you're 25. It's a lot more difficult.
But it's like probably, you know, should start in school, you know what I mean?
Well, they start,
absolutely. I mean, you should be taught a voice of PE teachers.
Well, I think they're starting to bring PE
things, you know?
in as a leaving cert subject.
Oh, they did this year. Well,
they brought
next year.
Yeah,
but
next year. So it's going to be brought in as a subject for the leaving cert.
Yeah,
So
it's still not mandatory though. I think it's, you take it. You can do it as a.
You mean like it wasn't on? Never.
No, like, I mean, you basically did PE as a break. You're kind of going, we got to play about football now. Like, that was PE.
That was excellent for us when I was in school. It was get out the orange football, and your PE was here, go outside into the yard and have a kickabout.
Now,
and then,
you did go to a school that literally had zero sports.
Well, that's true. No, that's true. Yeah, it also depends on the facilities you have in yourself. Yeah. But I mean, there was still half the people would sit out. They just sit there. I don't want to do that.
We won't, we won't allow. Let's say when I was working in school, I won't allow them.
Yeah.
Those who, like, you know, I'll give them fucking penalties if they come in over with without the, you know, sports gear.
Yeah.
They, of course, they're not allowed, like, you know, these jeans or whatever, fuck, you know. So I make them do push-ups all fucking 45 minutes.
Hard ass.
45 minutes.
Yeah, but like, you know,
I see rest happening.
Give 50, motherfucker. Give me 50. But like, you know,
no, 50 quid.
Let's say the way 50 there. Can I sit down?
What the fuck are you doing? Give me money.
But it was like, say, like we had like let's say 9th grade and 12th grade. Well, 12th grade would be like when you're leaving school at 18, yeah.
Right. Yeah.
So at the 9th grade it was like you decide to stay, go further, yeah.
All right.
Finish up the school, after which you normally can go university or, you know, something like that. After 9th grade, when you were 15 or something like that, you can go
like
to technical school and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But on those both occasions, you do test for PE, like full-on test.
Yeah.
It's like a minimum mark what you have to pass.
Yeah.
Let's say it was like all-around stuff, like from, like, say, 60 meters, 100 meter sprint, I think 3 kilometer run. 9th grade was 1.5, I think, kilometer. The 12th grade was 3 kilometer. And you have like you're doing, let's say, sit-ups for 20 seconds, how many you do. Minimum, let's say 25 you have to do, or something like that.
Yeah.
And I mean, you're even like by measuring the
a goal or a target you had to get to. Like,
it was like everything, every single one, they had like targets, as we say, and, you know, it's, let's say, minimum kind of, if you go below, you're not passing. And that was like, that was the biggest actually shame.
Yeah.
If you like straight away everybody will say you douchebag, you know what I mean? Yeah. Because I can't remember anyone who didn't pass. He was close.
Because you're fucking afraid to not.
Yeah, but like, let's say, like say, I had in our in school we have two girls who were obese. Obese by then.
Yeah.
Now you just say, it's just a bit overweight. You know, it's fine. She's grand. You know what I mean? Yeah. But then it was like that. There's 2 through all 12 years, 2 in proper huge school, yeah. But the thing was, I was saying, like, you have PE classes from like first class, when I was 7 or something like that. Yeah. I mean, we had like actually like in the first 3 years, we have like morning gymnastics.
Yeah.
Coming over, it's like small yards separated like fourth, 3 grades. Music playing, yeah. PE, fucking teacher stands there, show you what to do, and you repeat like a fucking like
like an aerobics as well.
Yeah, like mini army shit going on. But you do that for 15 minutes every morning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's very much conditioning. I think as well though, there's more of a culture in countries that do have armed forces.
Yeah.
You know, that have a culture of like I know that we have the Irish Army and everything like that. Like, I'm not saying, like, but like you know.
Sorry.
No, I apologise, but it's very different. Like, I mean,
there is
the Red Army, you know, all that kind of stuff as well. And even when during World War II, like the Nazis put a huge amount of emphasis on physical education in kids because they were thinking in their heads, soldiers of the future. Okay, yeah. But in Ireland as well, the thing is that there's a big emphasis on team sports. So you have like the GAA and now rugby and soccer and all this kind of thing. Sometimes kids just aren't made for team sports and they actually feel very lonely in a team atmosphere. Yeah. That they would be much better in a place like a gym where they might be one-on-one with somebody, or you know, that
even with themselves themselves, like
against themselves, like that they could have the best motivation in being by themselves and working by themselves, as opposed to being forced into a team atmosphere where they're going, I don't belong here, and then they're not motivated to work then.
Dorian said the same thing. So like I couldn't do team sport. Yeah. So like I could only you know, me against me. Yeah. You know, I rely on myself, not another. Like, you know, in rugby, like have another 14 on the pitch.
And it's really up in your face. Like, I mean, it's not a case that like it's 14 lads like hey then. Like, I mean, because everybody's diving over each other, smashing into each other in training. Like, you kick the shite out of each other in training, and then you go out at the weekend and you play for each other to kick the shite out of everybody else. Yeah. Like, you know, so it's an odd one. And you know, those kind of days when you find yourself, say for instance like fitness sessions and all that, you'd be near getting sick and you'd be like, why am I doing this to myself? And then you get into the change room and everyone's there going, fuck, that was hard, lads, wasn't it? And you kind of go, oh, that's why I did it, you know, because like I'm in a team, but there'd be some people who really just don't fit in there. And like, that's not to be like, oh, you're weird or anything like that. There's just simply people who don't. Yeah. And if that was put on offer to kids younger, I think that would help with this whole epidemic, as you say, of obesity that's going on. Just because there'd be the option there for them, you know, to be like, well, if you want to, there's the gym.
Well, it makes perfect sense that if you want to fight like obesity, the younger the better. Like,
exactly, and like, I mean, and when you see obesity in kids, you can be nearly guaranteed that the parents are going to be the same way. Yeah. Because you know it's their culture, but it's not. It's not the fault of the parents.
It's misinformation.
Exactly, they just simply know no better. Yeah. You know, and that is the issue. But as families grow, so you'd have one person who might be misinformed, and then they have 3 kids, and the 3 kids are misinformed, and it's just you're getting a mound of
misinformation.
Yeah, but like if you think,
I wasn't going to say that.
But if you think about foods, let's say how many years like Kellogg's and all the crap like that was the main ad on TV for food for kids.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and you'd have the sunshine kind of at the background.
The cockles,
everyone's really nice, and everyone's happy, and then
vitamins.
You know, but you weren't told that. There's packed full of vitamins, all your daily, fucking everything is there. Pops. But you know, packed full of sugar, packed full of everything. And I mean, it's not to say everybody doesn't grab a bowl of Cocoa Pops or whatever once in a while, but like if you're eating every single day, and this is school. And some people just don't have time anymore as well. Like, you know, to realistically sit down and, or, you know, people could be working 2 jobs. You know, both parents could be working. What are you meant to do then? You grab the easiest, nearest thing, because at the end of the day, you're absolutely wrecked.
Fucking oats in a bowl, bit of microwave.
But that comes back to information as well, because they probably see this and they go, oh, that's or even a healthy option of Special K or something. It's like, that's not healthy. Like,
option, I
think it's because
Special K.
As we're here, like, you know, I was actually reading an article there. It was on Case and Payne. Jamie Lewis put it up, and he was talking about the Kellogg, Mr. Kellogg, and the fact that he actually tried to get like coffee banned. I mean, when it first came out, everybody still said, you know, that coffee was like a wonder, you know, that it energized you, and you know, everyone perked people up and everything like that. And he basically tried to say it was the devil, and went about trying to make everything bland. And so he created like the cereals to try and get people to stop eating meat. and basically just get them on this all cereal diet.
Gruel.
Exactly, that was it. But
Eat the gruel.
he literally set out to make it like that. That it was like, no, that's bad, that's really bad. And they tried to say that like coffee would make your kids crazy, like it would literally send them insane. Now look, you don't go around and give a 10-year-old a fucking can of Red Bull or anything like that, but like they were trying to get it totally on, and it's so funny. Then you see Kellogg's as being like, the happy side of life. And you're kind of like, no, it's the same propaganda that they had beforehand.
The other side, I mean, again, when you're talking about like diet and kids though as well, like if you had that option and you put oats in front of a kid or you put Cocoa Pops, they're immediately going to reach for Cocoa Pops. Obviously, I mean, that's what you want, But again, even trying to make things again, they're saying, well, that doesn't taste as good as this does. Or well, this healthy food does not taste as good as that hamburger does. Or this fish, I'm not like that.
It's like Coca-Cola or water, like,
Yeah.
Put something like, well, Coca-Cola.
And it just, again, it's nearly kind of appeasing the whole, I can't really manage, right now. They're moaning at me, and it's like, okay, here, look, there's a Coke. There, will you go have that and sit down? And this is the problem as well, There is really trying to just say no.
Actually, the one thing I was thinking about, like,
thanks for re-angling
my
microphone
just
there.
realized, and the blood test, yeah.
Yeah.
I say, funny enough, I just remember fucking, because it's like kids, yeah. I fucking don't know what blood group they are.
Yeah.
Because it was never done here. Like when we, let's say, back home, like born straight away, it's done, yeah. And they test full on blood, like what's all the markers there, and that's how they building your history, yeah. When you go to like kind of children hospital every so often, and you have to come over. Your appointment set from the baby up, yeah. So when you actually reach the school age, it's already you have this history, what's happening.
You can kind of track as they're going through. Yeah.
So other thing, like, I know it's not done here anyway. So what's this thing like? Let's say even like that. Let's say if anything was any sort of way to even once a year to check the bloods by all the sugars and check the kidney, liver, all that stuff. But like, you have to do that kind of way. I mean, like, look, put like this. One thing, like,
I mean,
how in the fuck in this age, in this country, how much money is fucking wasted to fuck kids? I fucking had to pay for fucking that lip shit to take them out. We went like 3 times to the hospital. Big fucking huge cyst he had. Yeah, so fucking cut it out and all this. Still had to fucking pay a lot of money. Like not that bad, but still. Yeah. For a child, for a kid, who born in here and all that stuff, I don't understand, like, why the fuck you charging your kids when you're wasting money and shit, you know what I mean? Yeah. So I think it's forced as the starter is wrong. The kids are kind of like left there, or whatever. That's on the parents. That's on you. You bitch, you do look after, that's on you. Totally, 100% on. But parents, as you're saying, like, they don't know, they're misinformed. No, Kellogg's doesn't matter, but they don't know anything at all. So it's only those who will be like proactive, like trying to fucking.
It's funny you say that about the bloods, because when you're born, you're kind of given your type A, type B, type O, whatever. But when I had my first kidney issues when I was 7, then I started having to get bloods done regularly. And then it was kind of like.
Yeah, well, that's what
you're serially managing the function of everything that was going on.
Because they're like, oh, now there's a problem. Now we do it.
Yeah. But see, like, you wouldn't know if that was checked at the start.
Well, if I didn't get the kidney problems.
Yeah, you would know, No. But like, if they checked on the beginning, they might have found that problem straight away. Well, you never got the problem put like this. Yeah. Probably wouldn't even get it because you still see something going on.
It's like you said, though, as you said, that there's a lot of money being thrown away in a lot of different ways, and most of it we don't see where it goes. The problem is if you try and start introducing then serial blood tests, say a yearly thing for people. Well, who is going to pay for it? Where are you going to get the money from? I mean, is it a thing where is the GP going to do that? Is it which you can do? It can be done. But again, that's the problem is now.
Yeah. Do you have people packing up hospitals?
What you can also do, and it's a thing that happens quite a lot, is you can nearly over-test people.
Oh, it is. Yeah, but
you're literally looking for a problem.
No, you're probably right. Will happen in here definitely. Yeah. Because as kids sneezed. Oh shit! Bring the hospital.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you look at children's hospitals and things like that, majority of the time, a child when they go to the hospital doesn't get a blood test. They don't get anything done. They actually, you go on your clinical kind of judgment, and you say, well, I don't want, you try to avoid all these type of examinations for children simply because, it can be very traumatic for them. You don't want to expose them to radiation. You don't want to stick them with needles. You want to just make sure and see what's best for them. Because kids are great because they do usually settle down. But I do understand exactly what you mean, like having these sort of serial blood tests to kind of have something that we look at and go, okay, last year when you came in, this was this, and now this year it's way off. There's something gone wrong. What's going on? And you can investigate it. Yeah, absolutely. I mean,
actually, let's say on the same subject. Let's say you like what you will say as a recommendation. Let's say as a health issue is that what the main things to be checked if you're checking your bloods. Yeah. Like kidney, liver, sugars. Well, like what you put.
Well, I mean, I suppose as you're getting older, like there is certain things that obviously need to be done or checked. I mean, you're looking at things like triglycerides. You're looking at cholesterol levels because one is, there's such a use of things on statins and drugs to try and prevent all these type of cholesterol builds up, and some people are genetically predisposed to it, and there's nothing they can really do about it. But a lot can be managed if people knew about it earlier on, to change their diet, to stop smoking, to take down alcohol, to try and eat properly, cut out fatty foods, these type of things. You can actually completely alter the way your bloods would look over a number of months.
Simply by
changing those type of things. But I suppose again you need to know it.
Well, like fatty foods, let's say go back on that.
Sure.
Fatty foods, like what? What do you?
I mean, you're talking about high. If you like, I suppose what they say is, say if they're taking bacon, for instance. I mean, everybody could say, if you have a big fry up every single morning, you're taking in a huge amount of processed fats and things there as well. And then they're saying that if you eat a certain amount of that, the likelihood of you, say, getting some form of cancer or bowel cancer or anything like that has increased exponentially because you're throwing so much of this in every single day.
Overuse
but it's exactly. But it's about managing your diet properly again as well. So these are things that people should have checked as they get older. But you're looking at your function of your thyroid. I mean, for a male, getting your prostate checked, these type of things. This is what you're looking at. These are things that you look at when you kind of get older type things. Blood tests. Generally, if you went to your GP and you say I'm not feeling well, and what am I looking at? They do generally check sort of your blood counts. They'll check your liver function. You could check your kidney function, and it is a simple thing to do that, and they can check. Make sure everything is going okay. That's what you do get checked, really.
Yeah, I think there's I think the point you're trying to make is that don't allow something to happen by being prepared for it. As opposed to
prevention.
Exactly, preventative measure instead of trying to recover after something bad has happened. Like say, for instance, our dad has this file, I'd say about this big every time he goes into the doctor because of all the things that have happened to him in the past and all the medication he's had to take and all that kind of stuff. So then his history is very much there. But if a doctor didn't have that, and he walked in, and he wouldn't know he had 5 stents in his heart, wouldn't know any of that kind of stuff, and then they'd be like, okay.
Just let's guess.
Yeah, let's go on my clinical judgment. Yeah, let's do this. Well, I've actually been taking morphine, so if I take anything like that, I'm just going to fucking keel over and die. That kind of way. So, it would be silly to...
I mean, well, the problem is as well, you see, because of where people, people can live, you can get sick anywhere, which is also another problem. But I mean, a lot of places aren't linked properly. So, if you get sick, if you're down in somewhere down the country, but all your files are up in Dublin, it's very difficult to actually get access to that. We're not linked, really. All the hospitals aren't linked.
When you think about it, you're like, fuck, why not?
Absolutely.
In a time, with Wi-Fi.
But when you, I mean, half the time when you get somebody who may come in, you're also kind of, when you do ask what has happened, half of it gets lost at the wayside. I don't remember. Majority of people have no idea why they're taking their medications or what they're taking. Don't know their dosages, but they could have been taking these every day for the last 20 years, and the reason they say is because my doctor said so, which is really bad because every medication will be explained to each person so they're aware of why they're taking it, why it's important to do it, and then they just know.
That makes me immediately think of prescription thugs. Why are you taking that? My doctor told me to. There's a huge problem with prescription, overdosing and prescription drugs over in America. But you saying that, it's an issue here as well. People just not knowing what they're taking.
Just simple
sugar
Lemsip,
Oh yeah.
You just, oh shit, oh fuck my nose, oh fucking Lemsip going in straight away. You know what I mean? Hold on, what happened? Are you really sick? just let your body fight a bit, you know what I mean? Maybe give some, like I was using, like taking black pepper with fucking tea, you know what I mean? Kills off, no problem. A bit hot whiskey if you need on the top, and that's it, fine. You know what I mean? Straight away, lemon.
Always for the hot whiskey, straight away. Yeah.
Well, realistically, Lemsip is just paracetamol and vitamin C, you know?
Yeah. But like,
so, like
do you really need paracetamol? Like, that's the question, like, you know, do you really all the time need, like, you know, some Panadol, whatever, extra day?
Yeah.
It's most of the, headache, like, so what is headache? Like, every time, for me, like, you know, if I get like that, I remember I used BSN and Explode for headaches. You know, seriously. Work force training. Well, that was the thing. Like, force training, I tried one scoop, worked great. Like, really, really fucking great focus. Next training, nothing. So I upped the dose a bit. You know, I ended up taking 3.5 scoops and standing there yawning. This didn't give anything. It's not like I got down. Like, you know, let's say, like, if you take too much caffeine, you get like shut down. It's not like that. I just, whatever way I was same thing, standing there, just don't want to train. Didn't kick in. So I had that at home, and any time if like any headache, you know, kicks in, I use that because opens the vessel, goes in, but I get shitload of water. It goes away like in 20 minutes, half an hour, it's gone.
Yeah, a lot of the time actually people when they do, but you see a lot of people when they do get sick or when they do get migraines and things, the first thing they do is I don't want to eat, I don't want to drink, but you know, you have to keep hydrated. One thing, like absolutely, because you're dying. You know, you're dying to call it. You're dying.
You're literally
your body is dying for water and for these type of things. I mean, when you're taking those supplements, there is a lot of caffeine and sugars and things in them, so you're getting like a sugar high. But also, I mean, one of the treatments for migraine is caffeine tablets. I mean, they do help. To try and relieve the symptoms of migraine or headaches and these type of things. So absolutely, I mean, this is why you can see it working.
Yeah. Will they give, let's say, any sort of like, you know, like fructose or dextrose, anything like that, to just like to feed up a bit, like, you know, the...
Not necessarily. I mean, what you're looking at, I mean, like, you know, it also depends, you know, what if you were a diabetic or something like that as well. You can get these symptoms from that, you know. People don't realise that sometimes as well, that, you know, when you check your blood sugars and things, that you could actually be on the really low range of things, and you need to actually boost it up because, you know, that's why you're actually getting these symptoms, because you're actually very, very low on that type of stuff. So you can in that point.
As I say, like, you know, like Stan Effernan was saying, like, you know, about supplements and vitamins. I take that. So hold on, do you need them? How you know you need those supplements? You know, what's going on? Like, you check your bloods. You know what I mean? Like, from him, like, what for me was the best thing I've heard about vitamin D. Yeah. Actually, the way he was saying is it's not supposed to, it shouldn't be called vitamin D, because vitamin D is not really vitamins, like it's more like hormone, you know. And he started explaining, like, he went on like it's probably 20 minutes, but like very, very specific about that. And he was checking vitamin D levels there, and end up taking, I think, 10,000 IUs per day. And he went for a while like this, and they went up, and he felt way better and all that stuff. Now, I can second that because I tried the same way. I bought one from UK and I tried and went on, and it's definitely totally different mood. Like in the morning, like way more energy and stuff like that. Just like,
well, like the other way you get vitamin D is when you're out in the sun.
Yeah.
I mean,
how much more positive do you feel?
Well, this is what you're talking about. Like this is your whole supply of vitamin D you're meant to be getting is actually from generally when you're being outside in the sun. And when you're looking at if you're exactly when you're tucked inside all day, you know, do your levels drop or not? But I mean, you're talking about, you know, it's important for lots of different electrolyte balance, calcium, magnesium, phosphate, all these type of things. And it's like nearly like a hormonal pathway when it's going through it. And I suppose when everything is in your body is working or regulated properly, then of course you're going to feel a lot better in yourself if you're not going outside, not getting outside at all, not in the sunlight, nothing. You're trapped inside the whole time in work. You do feel the doom and gloom of it all, you know. Whether
that's it. As soon as people hear hormones, they go, hormones? No. It's like no. Realistically, your body cannot operate without them. They are signalers. You know, people think that they're one thing or another, but that's what a hormone is, isn't it? It's a signal to say, okay, you need to do this now.
Type thing. And I mean, different amounts to be, you know.
Yeah, so it's kind of going, the signal's stronger, do more of that. You know, telling your body what to do. But then again, it comes back to vitamin D. Why is it called a vitamin? And then what is a vitamin? Like when I was growing up, I was thinking, vitamins, what are vitamins? Fruit. That was the first thing I always thought about, was fruit, like vitamins. Oh yeah, they're the healthy
fruit
things.
is packed full of vitamins.
Yeah, so I'd be like, oh yeah, that's what a vitamin is.
Yeah.
But actually, like, the same thing like about vitamins. Like he was saying, like let's say he start like getting like one big carrot a day, then I think 3 or 4 glasses, like but small glass of orange juice per day. And I can't remember exactly.
He was talking about cleaning the liver with the orange juice.
Everything, all that stuff together, like. But I just, I was listening to a thing in there, like, how much bullshit were given before about, let's say, orange juice. Say, oh, it's bad for you. You know what I mean? Like, I had like one funny conversation with somebody there, and fucking, to be honest, like the dumbest shit I ever heard in my life, saying like, if you eat too much, you might get, fat. Yeah. Doesn't matter what, even fruits. So, hold on. What? How in the fuck that can happen? Now, okay, theoretically everything can possible,
once it gives you enough calories.
No, so like, give me the number. How many kilos of bananas per day I have to eat to get fat?
Before I die.
Let's go.
I suppose it's when you look at what's in it. So I mean, when you're breaking down even fruits and things, like your natural sugars are in it.
Yeah.
So again, when you're breaking that down, you're still going to produce a huge amount of sugar. I mean, if you're looking at oranges and orange juice and the difference between them, they're saying orange juice is bad for you because if you drink a litre of orange juice, you're drinking as much sugar as what's in a bottle of Coke.
Yeah.
That's the
But
that's the problem there.
Realistically, like how many you have to drink, how many liters to get into trouble? Is it really 1-to-1 Coke sugar and orange sugar? Would you put that like equal?
I'd have to look. I mean, I don't know the exact amounts. I mean, I know there's a huge amount in both. The thing is, to keep it fresh.
Yeah.
Well,
let's say like
concentrate orange juice. You have to use just as much sugar as you do in Coke.
But would you say like is a difference refined sugars and natural sugars?
Well, I mean, so what they're saying is they're still saying that like if you're eating lots of fruits and all this type of stuff as well, you're still producing a huge amount of sugar that's there naturally. Even still, you're trying to say it's not as bad as whatever it is, but you're still causing a huge amount of sugar to.
Yeah. Well, I'd say like is it actually is it the same or not? And I mean that would be the question, like because it's, let's say you take carbs, carbs from rice and whatever fucking Cocoa Pops. Who knows? It's just different.
They're both wrong. But it's a lot easier to eat. It'd be a lot easier to eat a full box of Cocoa Pops than it would be to eat a bag of rice. Like the same comparison. It's the same we can be said with fruit then. That you're gonna fill up. Like you're not if you eat fucking 10 bananas, you're gonna be full. Like as opposed to how many calories. Like
I was doing before when I worked in town. Like I was getting like big ones, like I'll tell you, was full like that, like maybe 8 or 10, but huge bananas there. Like, and I go through the day, just walking warehouse like fucking like that, like 1 or 2 on the go through the day. You know what I mean? It was fine, like like I mean from that angle. But saying like, when they start talking to how bad it is, I heard like actually they said like bananas are bad if you're eating too much. You know what I mean? Now, bad why? Don't know. But that's the same fucking thing, like because this information not full. Given or heard or just say, oh, it's bad, don't eat it.
Yeah.
Fucking why? I always make the question why. Eggs,
well,
like before, like everybody taking yolks out. You know what I mean?
But sure, it's one or the other. They're always like it flip flops back and forward kind of thing. When they're saying, well, butter's bad for you. Now butter's not bad for you. Yeah. Now you should be eating more of it. Now you shouldn't be eating more of it. I think everybody seems to change their mind every
lard.
week on and out. Like.
Fucking lard is no longer that bad.
Yeah.
It's called lard.
When I
sounds bad already.
I mean, it's kind of like when I was
people call it lard ass.
When I was studying with the whole sort of vitamins type thing. I mean, there was one person in particular that started working in their field nearly, and people are always talking about I go to the gym, I take these extra vitamins, and we're kind of saying, well, you should naturally be taking everything up in your diet. That's naturally you should be, and you can try and boost these things. And he'd always laugh it off because he'd be just saying, well, enjoy your expensive piss. Yeah. Because your body's going to excrete out all the rest of it doesn't want, that doesn't want.
If you're not using it.
Yeah. So if you're taking everything up you need naturally anyway, and then you're paying an extra 50 quid for a bucket of multivitamin that you use in a week type thing, and that you'll just excrete it all out anyway if it's not needed, if it's not necessary. So you will be expecting.
But that's the whole idea.
Piss.
That's why the whole. But the thing is, if you take in too much protein, you piss it out as well.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Like, you create demand with training.
Exactly.
So how many times a week, or even like twice a day, or like a different level. It's 3 times a day training. You know, some people do that. Like my mate was wrestler, yeah? So he had running in the morning, I think 5 or 6 in the morning, goes for an hour and a half a run. 10 o'clock, runs to the gym, does weights, runs back. So again, like about 40 minutes run and about over an hour training, weight training. And in the evening, he spars for 2 hours from 7 to 9, I think, like that. You know what I mean? So for him to eat and get everything from the foods is like really
I probably needs something like 10,000 calories a day just to try and keep up with what he was doing.
You know what I mean? So for them,
supply and demand.
It has to be like, no way you're gonna get everything from foods. I understand it has to be like, supplements involved. Yeah. Everybody else, like, if you're training 2 or 3 times a week, probably don't need anything. You know what I mean? Just eat.
Yeah, well, I mean, for him, it's very difficult to sit down and actually prepare 6-7 meals a day or eat 10 times a day or whatever. You know, this is why people do grab a protein shake or they grab something to make up.
For somebody who is in the gym a lot and whatever, one of the biggest dangers is undereating.
Always.
You know, always fucking undereating. Like, I end up only eating 2 meals a day. Like, you know.
That's the thing. Like,
I should, and like everyone else again, 3 meals a day.
But see, that's the thing. So like, I try to explain. So that's why I can get away from pizza every second or every night, or fucking eating from the Nutella jar.
I think you eat the entire supply of pizza from Tesco
for the rest of the day. Just you're eating nothing else. Like,
well, that's the thing. Like, see, that's the only way you can get away with that shit. Like, you know, let's say a while back, I was doing like 5-6 times a week training, and they were always going like, over an hour, you know what I mean? Because I was enjoying training, but always under eating. So if I eat like not the healthy option, not the best, not the optimal food, I still get away. At least I got something. It's always better shitty option than no option, at all. You know what I mean? I'd rather to eat like, grab like that fucking jar of Ben and Jerry's than starve, just water and water. What's going to happen with that? Like, you know what I mean?
The danger with that, with what you're saying is that then there are the people who say, well, I eat shit because there is no other option.
Well, that's excuse.
Exactly, that's an excuse. Whereas if, in this case, it's actually like you're working. It's kind of go, fuck, actually I have to get calories in here. I'm actually going to do damage to myself. Yeah. That my body's like in a depletion and going, unless I'm literally starving. Like,
unless you have like shitload overweight kilos on, same thing, like, say somebody trains 3-4 times a week and let's say keep the same food as before training and not losing the weight. They say, like, bullshit. Say, what shit you eat on top? What you ate before?
Yeah, what are you eating?
No way if you got like extra hour or so of physical activity is hard training. Hard training, not fucking cross training crap. Proper training. And you're not dropping any weight.
Yeah.
Fuck off.
Something's up there.
Well, I mean, you're probably, again, are you doing it properly? Are you doing a proper training session? Have you actually talked to somebody about it?
I'd say
with food, if you're getting somebody who's coming in, you get someone who goes, well, I need to lose 10 kilos. I need to do it in the next week because the 4-day exercise book that I've now bought off somebody from wherever says that this is exactly what'll happen if I buy it and what I do. And then they'll sit at home sucking on a lemon, drinking water and pass out because they haven't eaten anything. Yeah. They won't eat anything properly and don't realise that your body still needs all these things while you're working out. So again, that's a knowledge-based type thing.
It's way too many of those.
Yeah. Look at all the fad diets and things that are out now. If you go into any type of bookstore now, you're talking about
people eating
thousands
of 800 calories a day, and you're like,
so you know,
just sitting and farting, you burn more calories. Or, just being alive, you burn calories.
But that's it, isn't your resting, like, say what they say for a man, 2,500 or like that?
I think isn't 2,000 they say for a man.
Yeah, 2,200. That's if you did not move, if you just that's what
your muscles in itself as they, as your body works. Yeah, absolutely.
But like the thing is, you can't sit up straight without using your muscles, so they're always active. Yep. Yeah, and some calories.
You just burned 2 calories.
Here's that little movement right there. Congratulations.
Actually, get yourself a Ben and Jerry's.
As we mentioned, Eno Explode. I have a great story about Eno Explode. So I'm a devil for pre-workouts. I'm a devil for pre-workouts. And they might not. Majority of the time they probably don't work. But even if it's a placebo, I will take the placebo every time because it makes me feel like I'm gonna go in and go, fucking train like this now. I'm turned on.
Turned on.
I'm turned on, right?
Okay.
Pre-workout.
I really like training, man. Okay. Don't judge me for this.
I'm not training with you in the gym anymore.
Hey,
that's why I'm around with a hard on.
This is getting weird.
Just in little shorts and a hard on, and he's walking around. Okay.
Well, the thing is, right. So don't know why, but for whatever reason, it was the one that just did not work for me. As in, I couldn't stomach it. Never had issues before with like with gas, when I explode, yeah. And the thing is, it was like, oh, Ronnie Coleman takes this.
Yep.
Look at the fucking size of him. I was like, I'm going to take this and I'm going to be like Ronnie Coleman.
Yeah, with all the additional extras.
Oh yeah, with a few extras.
Like,
yeah, buddy.
Yeah, buddy. Well, yeah, the beef and barbecue sauce.
That's absolutely. That's exactly what he takes. There was nothing else.
Chicken and ketchup. Like this. But so I was in the first gym that I was a part of. I had a personal trainer, and for whatever reason, this fucker used to always be like, right, 6:30, and I'd be like, how do I eat before training? Like, I can't get up that early. And like I was getting up and eating half an hour beforehand, then feeling sick. So I was like, right, I can't eat before training, but I have to have something. So I remember I took Explode, and it was like tropical berry flavours, and it was red. And I took it before training, and we went up and we were squatting, and I very regularly got sick actually when I was doing these training sessions, and I had to get sick, and I like legged it downstairs into the jacks. And there's this particular gym it was very much commercial gym, and it had like wet facilities, so like you had people who come in just use the steam room and all that. So like there was a huge, like the variant of client was massive. But there's this old guy in the toilet, and I went in, and all the cubicles were closed, and I was like, fuck, I'll get sick in the sink. So I turned and I went, whoa, and it was like this red just pouring out of my face. And your man, holy fucking Christ! Jesus! Like he literally thought I was like heaving my guts out. Like he thought it was blood. That I was just going, like, and I was like, no man, it's blood. It's okay. And, like trying to calm him down while I'm puking my ring up, and he was like, fucking Jesus Christ, like going absolutely mental. And then he was like,
oh, I do that all the time, you know.
And I was like, no, it's fine. It's not blood. It's not blood. And I was like, it's just I drank something that was red, and he was like, fucking hell, man. Like, never used Explode ever again. Just couldn't bring myself to. But my fond memory of it was
it's like
vomiting in
it's
the sink.
One of those like was weird. Like it's fucking nearly every other pre-workout kind of. Actually, Jack 3D, the old one, done nothing to me.
Yeah.
And they gave to Mars. I bought the case when they think they were talking about banning. So I bought from UK, got the box, 12 of them. So it'll last me for a couple of years and shit.
Of course, because then you now thought if they're banning it, it has to be good.
Yeah.
There's something in there.
Oh, definitely.
That's going to make me train 10 times harder.
The MA was in it.
Yeah, it was the MAA in it.
Yeah, but funny enough, like I got nothing out of it. I tried so many times, different ways.
Some of those parties you used to go to when you were younger, that's what it was.
Zombie beer was then. But I gave to Myers, like for him, worked like for whatever fucking years. Every time he hits that, every time worked. Nothing to me.
That's what people always say. Is as good as the old Jack 3D. That's what people always say. Yeah. It's as good as the old Jack 3D. So like, I mean, it did set a bit of a benchmark. But it was like, oh yeah, there's amphetamines in it. But and there was the same with Craze. I remember I was taking Craze, and like I was training at 6 a.m. and I'd always take it. And then I was like looking in the mirror, and I was like, I actually look like I've aged 10 years. And I was like,
yeah, but sure, each scoop was like 14 cups of coffee or something ridiculous.
My teeth falling out. Like I always felt amazing, but then afterwards, like,
well, I mean, I
going into college, and I'd be like, and people were like,
I tried it with you before. Yeah, he tried it with me, and he decided, oh yeah, I was like, yeah, can I have some grand? And he decided, yeah, 4 scoops would probably be good, for you.
Let's start here.
Like, so I remember just you come to the gym, and I just actually thought my heart was going to explode out of my chest, and my eyes are wide open.
That's because you're
running around like crazy. But yeah, I mean, this is the thing, like all the pre-workout stuff, you never know.
Actually, like on the caffeine, is as a tolerance. Would you build, say, if you regularly use of coffee, strong coffee?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you would like think of what happens if you don't take it for a morning.
Yeah.
If you get up every morning and you go, yeah, I'm having my 2 cups of coffee now, grand, I feel great, yeah. And then sort of the next week you kind of go, well, I'm all right now. And you do build up a tolerance, like, because eventually what ends up happening is if you miss those 2 cups of coffee in the morning, you feel terrible.
Like, I give you a funny one, yeah. All instant coffees, I was like years ago was taken and say, oh, we're going holidays. That's the option. Like if you rent an apartment.
Yeah. If
you get like all inclusive shit, different story. You just order a proper one, you get it. Yeah. But that was one time, like a particular time, I had 5-6 cups of coffee a day, and it was just yawning, walking around, just yawning, like couldn't just wake up like that. Fucking, I couldn't understand what's going on.
Yeah.
But every time I take in any coffee shop, it just straight away, like, you know, kicks in.
Buzzed off, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Proper stuff.
So then I took it off totally. Yeah. But in the morning, as you were saying, you feel like shit. You need coffee. When I stopped drinking that, and I was taking only beans. Yeah. Have no problem. Say I can not, you know.
Eating the beans?
No. You brew properly.
Brew chewing beans.
No, it's like
I can't wait for it to be brewed now.
It's like, you know, I won't even buy, let's say, ground coffee. Like, you know, like I'll buy beans, like, you know, has the fucking grinder in the built-in machine.
Yeah.
Do that way. And let's say if I'm not getting in the morning my coffee, I'm fine. I won't be not functional.
Yeah.
It's no problem.
Yeah, but I think you appreciate coffee more that way as well. It
Oh, yeah,
tastes so
100%.
much better.
Way better, no? But I start like doing like this. I tested that about 4 or 5 times. Every time was the same story, you know what I mean? Because at the start, I thought, maybe just like coincidence there, like, you know, I stopped drinking that, like, was getting shit of water, different foods and all this, and I just got used to it, like, you know, I don't need that coffee, it's fine.
Yeah.
But every time I tried, it felt like there's some shit in that synthetic coffee, you know what I mean? Like, whatever way they do that, instant, there's some crap in it. It feels more addictive to that.
It's it. Well, I mean, it's all, you know, it's all the freeze dried stuff. So I don't know how long it's actually been there. You know, you could have been sitting on a shelf like coffee made, you know, ground 3 years ago. You don't actually You're getting proper, you know, fresh coffee. It's just out of the bag.
See, like, look, if you take
fresh coffee
out of the bag, just out of the bag. You know, like
we all know what we're talking about.
That's absolutely, you know, that's.
I think they're using, like, in the process different thing. Like, it's like when you take coffee bean, like, you just, like, you know, grind all that.
Yeah.
I think when they do an instant coffee, they're using either the top part. I think only the top part they're using, not using like what's everything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I'm sure. I mean, the instant coffee stuff, even, you know, it dissolves into everything. You know, if you're drinking actually coffee, you know, that doesn't go anywhere. That's what you're taking out of it, like naturally out of the stuff. So yeah.
That's what some people use though. Is coffee is a stimulant, not energy. Like it adds calories, but like, so if you're tired, you're probably not eating enough.
You're not getting enough energy.
Drinking a glass of coffee is
getting enough sleep. This is what people aren't doing anymore, because everyone is on their phone, has a TV in the room, blue lights, everything's flashing. It's like a disco.
Like, do you know what they used to use blue lights for? Murder scenes, to find all the sperm on the bed.
Well, like on the sleep.
I don't know what blue lights you have in your room.
Well, all I know is that
sperm everywhere.
I can't take heroin. I have my phone on.
There was a 2.5 Men scene when they came over to check the blue lights there. Holy shit. Charlie!
See it from space.
See, I wonder if that's different though. Like, I can go on my phone at night and I sleep. I could sleep for 20 hours a day.
You're looking. I mean, it's true.
But the thing is, sometimes when
this is the problem.
But the thing is that if I can't sleep,
you go on your phone.
I turn my phone on, right, and I shit you not, I literally go. You've seen it?
Yeah, I've seen it happen. He actually fell asleep with his hand, like, flat in the bed, and he had his phone above his head, and he was holding it in his hand, and not once, but about 4 times in a row, slapped himself in the face with his phone and woke up. So, you know.
So it wasn't the phone. It wasn't technically.
It wasn't actually the light that was doing it. No, it was the phone that woke him up.
Smashing to my face.
Yeah.
But then.
But there's so much electronics. People need to get them out of the room. This is the problem. People aren't sleeping. You know. And then when you do look at your phone, like all these lights, again, it's receptors in your brain. It's melatonin, 100%. And the rest is all being stimulated. So your brain is being told to stay awake. Yeah. So because of that, you're not getting good natural sleep.
If you get a bird and you put it in a box in the middle of the day, it'll go, it is nighttime, sleep. You know, because its body's going, dark, sleep. Yeah. So it's the same thing, like, you're sitting there and the lights are in your face, you're going, it's clearly still daylight. You know, and we like to say, oh yeah, but we're a little bit more conscious than that, than a bird, you know. Yeah, but I'm different to a canary, but like, we're still animals that will react differently. Like, you'll always feel more awake during the day because of the light. Like, people who have to get up in the morning when it's still dark, you feel fucking tired because it's still dark. Whereas if you wake up and it's nice and bright, you're kind of going, oh yeah, it's the day. It's like it's the daytime.
Look, the brain reacts to that light, and that's it. That you're up and you're good to go. I mean, actually, like, what do you think? Minimum hours of sleep, minimum and maximum.
Well, I suppose everybody's actually different. I mean, the way the consensus seems to be at the minute is some roughly around 7 hours is what you should be aiming for of good natural sleep, because you're trying to get 2-3 REM cycles in, which is, you know, as you're sleeping, your body is constantly going through a different, your brain is going through different functions. So you're looking for at least, that's what they're saying, you know, that's what your peak is. And then, I mean, you get overtired if you oversleep.
Yeah, I heard that.
You're tired if you undersleep. So it's to try and aim for something in between that. And you'll know everybody's going to be that little bit different.
Yeah,
so you can
but again,
adjust
if you're in the gym, I think you need more sleep, because your body needs to repair better.
Yeah, I mean,
but you go
need
deeper.
To rest
you gotta
up.
go deeper
You
in sleep
do.
anyway.
You need
but
just
like
to get.
Your central nervous system is
normal
taxed in a very
sleep.
certain way that like you're like it needs the time to, like, people
need a bit more time to recover.
But you have to think as well as the pressure on the nervous system.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, that's only applies for heavy lifting. If you went around like, you know, just going for that pump, you know what I mean?
Yeah, you're not.
It's a bit different story. Unless you know, hitting like, you know, always pushing that pain barrier, you know, all the time. Yeah. Different story. That's like taxing the nervous system. But like if you just like, you know, 3x12, blah blah blah, and it's easy enough. Yeah. Fuck it, don't need. Actually, heard to say like one professor from back home, like when I was studying there, he said less than 6 hours is the same damaging as over 9 hours, I think, of sleep. Be same way damaging, you know what I mean? It's just like it's shortens your kind of lifespan, you know, like it's that kind of way, you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's what you need to do. You aim for a targeted type of amount. I mean, but people aren't doing that now either. The problem is you're staying up watching TV until it's like 1 in the morning, and then you're having to get up at 5 or 6.
Hello.
Or you know, or you're not going to sleep till 3:30, and then waking up really late. You know, there's all those type of things as well. You know, you're trying to get a good actual natural sleep kind of going on. That's what people aren't doing. But you can't sleep when there's everything flashing in your room and you're distracted by everything. Well, like, you need to actually just sleep.
See, like it's other thing, like if you think like the tempo of life and everything like that, and hours, let's say like you have to be 6 here, say I'll never probably leave 11 or even past 11 from here, so I don't ever had the chance to be like sleeping 11, which is suggested to the best way.
Yeah, when they say it's that.
Yeah, but your body is set up to how you're going to be doing it. But the thing is, are you actually getting a good natural type sleep as well? That's the other side.
But you can still fall asleep with it in your face, like I do, but you might not get the quality of sleep.
Well, that's it as well. Yeah, if you've got bright light still shining in your face, all that's still being active. You know, your brain is still being activated by that. Like, so when you wake up, you still feel terrible because you've had this bright light shining in your face.
But even like totally switching off the phone for the night. Yeah, I notice like big difference in the sleep. You know what I mean? Like if they off, because they normally fucking too close to my head anyway. Yeah, you know what I mean? And like fucking Wi-Fi.
Even if you're getting notifications as well,
I switch off the sound. But I'm saying like totally
in your subconscious, you know it's on, that you could get it.
Oh yeah, you're listening for it. You know, you're picking it out.
In your subconscious, you're listening for it.
But even mentally, people should probably switch off their phones a lot more, just for
big time.
100%.
But the thing is, like, I have an addiction. I most definitely have an addiction to my phone.
Like everyone,
I'd say. But like, I mean, that's because they're so much more accessible. But I sometimes feel absolutely amazing if you ever find yourself like out on a hike or for hours on end where you know your phone is off, or you left it back in your car and you come back and you're like, I haven't touched my phone in like 8 hours and I feel fucking great.
Yeah, but you're outside and you're doing something. You're doing something
active. Like you're active.
Like the minute you go home and you sit down on the couch and then you watch something on TV and go, I wonder what's on the news, or well, what are the lads doing and what's going on? And you're 2 minutes later, you're on everything, you know. Or before you go to sleep at night, then you do the same kind of thing. You go, I'll do one last check. Let's just see what's going on.
But if you think it's not really a phone that as a problem. Like if you think, let's say, before like was so much on the phone accessible, you're watching TV, that second when the ad kicks in, what you do? We'll check what's on another channel. And you just
true. What you do,
you know what I mean? So that's I think that's only it's something in the head there. Let's check there. I might missing something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Or now that it's become a social thing now as well, it's what am I missing out on the social side of life? It's like I don't want to know what like my friend's cousin's sister's boyfriend has done with his life, or if he's gone over to Thailand, he's painted himself pink and yellow. Like,
it's a true story.
Why do you keep liking his? Why do you keep liking his pictures?
He has the life I want.
That's the truth.
It's all fake.
I can't handle the truth.
I'm living vicariously through him. Okay.